The first rays of the sun slowly rose over the wide plains. The silence of the desert was broken by the cry of an eagle echoing in the sky. The earth spoke with the wind. The wind carried whispers from the past. In the midst of that silence walked a young woman, carrying the weight of a long journey on her shoulders. Among the white men, her name had become Catalina, but her true name was the one her mother had whispered into her ear under the moonlight. Moonlight. For years she had lived in the shadow of another world, learning their language, eating their food. But her heart had never beaten for their songs. For Moonlight's soul belonged to the wind of the mountains, the flow of the rivers, the beating wings of the eagles. Now, after many years, she was returning to the land of her ancestors. Every stone beneath her feet reminded her of old days. As the wind swept through her hair, it seemed to carry the voices of her ancestors. "You are coming home, my daughter." But coming home is never easy. When Moonlight approached the tribe, smoke was rising from the camp. Women carried water, children played, men prepared their arrows. But when eyes turned to her, silence fell. No one spoke, no one smiled. Those who saw her whispered, some turned their heads away. In every pair of eyes she met, she saw the same thing: strangeness. She had once been a child of this people, but now the tribe did not recognize their own daughter. At night, a great fire was lit. The sound of drums rose into the sky. Songs were sung. Moonlight sat far from the fire, within the shadows. She looked at the stars and thought of her mother. She touched the turquoise-stoned necklace around her neck. This stone was the only memory her mother had left her. She whispered to herself, "I am here. Your blood is my blood. Your songs are my song. One day you will hear me." But that night, no one came to her. Whenever Moonlight was alone, her mind wandered back to her past. As a little girl, her mother had lulled her to sleep with songs by the river. Her father, returning from the hunt, would lift her onto his shoulders and say, "You will be free as the wind." Then war came. The greed of the whites shattered the peace of the tribes. Families were torn apart. Children were taken. Moonlight had been ripped from her roots then. Years passed among strangers who raised her. Those who admired her beauty never saw the sorrow in her eyes, for Moonlight had never truly belonged. And now, after all the pain, she was here again. But the loneliness weighing upon her heart was heavier than the silence of the desert. Days passed. Moonlight walked into the desert every morning, speaking to the wind. She looked at the eagles gliding in the sky, searching for courage. At night, she sat beneath the stars, whispering prayers. One night, she dreamed of her mother. Her mother reached out her hand and said, "Do not fear. The wind will take you where you must go." When she awoke, her heart was a little stronger. One morning, screams shook the camp. The chief's young son had gone hunting and vanished in the mountains. He was searched for all day, but not found. As panic grew, Moonlight stepped forward, without hesitation. "I will find him," she said. No one believed her, but she followed the path of her heart. She walked the mountain trails, gazed at the sky where the eagles guided her. At last, she found the child, wounded, breathless, alone. Moonlight knelt. She pressed her hands to the earth, recalling the healing knowledge her mother had taught her. She gathered herbs, dressed his wounds, and sang songs for his spirit. With a heartbeat like the rhythm of a drum, she prayed. The boy opened his eyes and looked at her face. In that moment, he did not see his mother. He saw his savior. When Moonlight brought the boy back to the camp, silence fell once more. All eyes turned to her hands. her face. In that moment, no one could see her as a stranger anymore. That night, a great fire was lit. The shaman cast sacred herbs into the flames, and the smoke rose to the sky. Tears streamed down the chief's face as he held his son in his arms. Then he turned to Moonlight and said, "You are the daughter of our people. For years, the wind carried you far away, but now the wind has brought you back to us." The shaman placed his hand upon Moonlight's forehead and declared to the tribe, "From this day forth, your name shall be Daughter of the Wind, for it is the wind that has returned you to your people." From that day on, Moonlight was no longer alone. Children ran around her, teaching her new songs. Women shared their ancient secrets. Men invited her to dance by the fire. Moonlight sang with the tribe, her heart beating to the rhythm of the drums. Under the stars, as she danced, she was no longer a solitary woman. She was a daughter of her people. That night, as the fire's flames rose to the sky, the Daughter of the Wind lifted her head upward. The turquoise stone at her neck glowed brightly. She touched her necklace, feeling her mother's presence, and she whispered, "I am where I belong, among my ancestors, among my people. The wind has brought me home."